Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing really well. Welcome back to Mancity Unplugged, your very own Mancity fan channel. I hope you all are having a really gorgeous Friday or you all are looking forward to the weekend, depending on whichever part of the world you're in. Uh, Regarding the place I'm in here in Denmark, the weather's just been really gorgeous. The sun's just been blazing throughout the day, and now it's the evening time when I'm recording this video. It's just a typical summer's evening. It's just so beautiful. The sun just setting off, leaving its last few rays. It's just wonderful to describe. And also, I was thinking about the bid which was accepted by Bournemouth yesterday for Nathan Ake for 41 million pounds. I was just thinking, is Nathan Ake good enough to play for Man City? Is he really the one we need to address those issues? Because right now, we are not in a position to experiment in that position. We need someone who can come in and do the job, even if it means that he might not start right away. We have no room to carry baggage or personal in the team. We have carried John Stones for a long time. I might be harsh here, but the reality is we have carried John Stones for 3 years. And how many performances did John Stones give in the 3 years? Well, he has. The significant thing he has done is clear that ball off the line. I will accept that. But then, apart from that, he has played well here and there in patches. And he's 26 now, but still, I don't see a pathway for him forward. So, we don't have any more room for experiments. We clearly need to accurately get the positions right, because most of our superstars, most of our players are really coming into their prime. Raheem Sterling, Aymeric Laporte, Bernardo Silva, Rodri. I mean, everyone's just stepping into that prime. So it's really important that we get the entire squad right so that we can challenge for the best trophies challenge for the Premier League, obviously, with that never with that ruthless Liverpool team, and also mount great challenge in the Champions League as well. So looking back at Nathan Ake, I was just wondering why. Because you look at Bournemouth and you wonder I mean, and you think about it, because Bournemouth has been a team that has never kept the back door shut. Because if you ask me, uh, a team which is like always considered loads of goals and which has not been relegated, it will be Bournemouth. Uh, but the only thing that has been saving them from relegation for the past 3 or 4 seasons was that they were able to score goals. But now they were not able to even do that and they got relegated. So if you see, Bournemouth actually concedes what 1.7 goals per game in the last 4 seasons, and this figure is just better off teams like Cardiff City, teams like Fulham, teams like Hull City, and teams like Huddersfield Town. And what is the common factor among all four of these teams? It's that these four teams have been relegated. So Ake has been someone who's played in that sort of defense, but if you look at his passing accuracy, you will notice that it is 82.7%. Yes, 82.7%. Now you might think that is lower than Otamendi. That is lower than what John Stones does at City. Then why? But if you see Bournemouth, a team whose style of play pretty much this season, I mean, that is the passing accuracy of this season I'm talking about. Nathan Ake. If you see Bournemouth this season has been a team that has been sitting back and hitting teams on the break. So a player who plays at the heart of a defense that soaks up pressure, a player who is always being pressed upon by his opponents, a player who is always under that constant pressure, a player who has no room to make a mistake. If he can pass with such an accuracy of 82.7%, then just imagine what he can do at City, where he'll have the entire freedom of the of the entire pitch to just ping passes here and there, to shift the ball from one side to another, to just even go forward into the midfield and also into the attacking third with the ball. Such freedom he will have at City. Just imagine what such a player can do. And these stats, that 82.7 passing accuracy, tells me another thing as well, that Nathan Ake is someone who soaks up pressure really well, because in a Guardiola defense, you need defenders who are very good at those one-on-one situations, who are not afraid of an attacker running at them. Guardiola playing in Guardiola's defense is like, even in your best of dreams, you only have skillful attackers running at you. That is what is the constant amount of pressure you'll always be under. And these stats prove that Nathan Ake is very well very well equipped, I would say, to deal with that kind of a pressure. And another interesting stat is, I mean, it's not a stat. This channel is not about stats. It's about our opinions. These are my opinions on Nathan Ake. Get down into the comments below and tell me about your opinions on Nathan Ake. Do you think he will succeed at Man City? One thing is his Premier League proven, but having played in the Premier League at the heart of the defense doesn't mean that he will be successful. We have our John Stones as an example. He has played at that Everton's defense, very skillful on the ball. He knew the Premier League, but he has not been able to achieve his potential. So it does not always mean that you'll succeed. Harry Maguire, look at it, how he's been one of the best defenders in the Premier League in over the last 1 or 2 seasons, and now he's struggling at United. All of his problems are coming to the core. So being Premier League proven doesn't mean anything if you can't adapt to the team well. So it depends on how well Nathan Ake gets into that City team. How well Nathan Ake acclimatizes himself with the demands of Pep Guardiola. Remember that play coming into this City team is never easy. Even if it means that you might be a world class player, leave Nathan Ake. A world class player like Riyad Mahrez took what, almost an year to settle down into the Guardiola system. Riyad Mahrez won the title with Leicester, is a Premier League proven world class winger. Riyad Mahrez on his day will just take the defenders to the cleaners. He will turn you inside out, and then again he'll turn you inside, and he'll just put you on your backside, and he'll score the goal. That's the prowess of Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez, one of the most dangerous wingers in the Premier League, took a season under Pep Guardiola. So Nathan Ake will take time, but there's a big reason to believe that Nathan Ake will not take time. I think that's because if we look at the previous stints of Nathan Ake coming through the academy has played in the midfield in most of his youth, and then he has played at left back. I think, yes, he has played at left back in at Watford during a loan spell, and then he has come to Bournemouth, and then Eddie Howe has converted him into a centre back. So Pep might have looked at these aspects. Here is a player who is comfortable playing in midfield, who is comfortable playing at left back, and also who's done exceptionally well at the heart of the defense of a team like Bournemouth, who were fighting relegation, who had their backs against the wall. So, and also the other thing regarding that interview I was telling, in January of this season, when Bournemouth were fighting relegation, Chelsea were swooping around for Nathan Ake, and then Eddie Howe in an interview was telling that he was basically talking about the development of Nathan Ake, how Nathan Ake went from being kind of a quiet a person who is always with himself, who enjoys being with himself, not so outspoken. He has developed himself into a leader, into a person who has become vocal both on the field and off the field, who has become a great role model for youth players, for players younger than him, for players inexperienced than him to look up to. Eddie Howe was just talking about the transformation of Nathan Ake in such high regard. I just thought, wow, this player, what a good leadership attributes, what good personality would this player, what good character would this player bring to that City dressing room. Because let us honestly think about it and accept it. We need leaders in that defense. Lack of leadership in that defense is what really cost us the title challenge this season. Lack of leadership in that defense is what has cost us big Champions League games, especially after Vincent Kompany has left. I mean, Laporte, yes, Laporte is a leader, but he's also coming onto his own. Laporte is 24, he's also growing into that role. Other than Laporte, I don't see any other leaders in the back line. Zinchenko is not a leader. Ederson is not a leader. I mean, he commands his box well, and that is fine, but he's not a he, he's not an out and out leader like a Winston Company, for example. Kyle Walker is not a leader. Where is that leadership in the center of defense? I mean, Fernandinho does the job. Yes, Fernandinho is a leader, but now Fernandinho age is catching up with him. He's 35, might be his last season, the next season at the club. So Nathan Ake was someone who was calling out to us, calling out to Man City to come and take him. He is, I think, he not only as a footballer but also as a personality. He's someone whom we needed. And also, if Bournemouth didn't go down, it would have been difficult for us to get him. But now that Bournemouth has gone down, it has all become really simple. So yeah, that personality, that character, it would be a great value addition, I think, in the dressing room, that is crying out for that sense of that sense of a person who would come in and bond the defense when City is defending for their lives, when City is under the cosh, which is not many times, but yes, if you want to win the Champions League, you need to suffer. Pep Guardiola uses this word. You need to suffer. You need to be under the cosh if you want to achieve high things, if you want to achieve big things. And City have not done that well. When they were under the cosh, we have always succumbed. I always go back to that first season. Under Pep Guardiola, when City played Monaco, we were 5-3 up from the first leg, and then what happened? We got nervy in the second leg. That is what has been happening with us through all the knockout stages of the Champions League games. That is where we are suffering. Under the cosh, nerves drop. We concede a goal, a defender does a mistake, John Stones does a mistake, for example, all the other heads in the defense also drop. I mean, lack of concentration from a defender, all and we concede a goal, everything else drops, the heads drop. So we needed someone who would fill us with confidence in such situations, which would really depress us, which would really put down ordinary people. We need such strong personalities in defense, and I think Nathan Ake is that person. So I'm very happy, not only in terms of player but also in terms of the person. And yesterday in the video I was yesterday in a video regarding David Alaba, I was mentioning that how David Alaba, with his versatility and all, one of the best left backs, would really provide value to us. I think Nathan Ake has more leadership qualities than David Alaba. David Alaba again is not an out and out leader, but Nathan Ake has developed himself over the last 3 or 4 seasons into that leader, that personality whom teammates can look up to. So now, if you ask me, I would prefer Nathan Ake over David Alaba. And Nathan Ake still has the 3 or 4 years to go until he can reach the same age, same level as as David Alaba. And there is no reason not to believe that Nathan Ake can't go and achieve that levels which David Alaba has been in, especially under the guidance of Pep Guardiola. And so, I mean, talking about all of these things, we think that Nathan Ake is a perfect fit. He is what we really want. And also, I think Nathan Ake will start at left back also, because he's left footed, which would mean that he would be a direct competition for Aymeric Laporte. And that's not going to be an easy task. So I think Pep had that in mind. He would have convinced Nathan Ake also that you'll have a starting place. I mean, Pep would never say starting place, but I think Pep would use these words. We have a left back spot in our team that is vacant. You can always fight for it, because Pep doesn't guarantee things to people. Pep always tells, if you fight for it, if you show the right attitude, it is up for grabs. You will be there. There's no reason that you can't be there. Zinchenko was there not because he was very talented or highly skillful for that left back position. Zinchenko was there because he showed that endeavor, that sense of energy, that sense of attitude, that sense of want from him to go and grab that place. He showed that he showed that sense of learning spirit, that I learn whatever needs to be learnt about this position so that I can play there. That's what convinced Pep Guardiola to really stick with people like Zinchenko and Fabian Delph. I mean, people also talk about Jadon Sancho, but I think the reason why Jadon Sancho really left Man City was that uh, he was not prepared to, I think, fight for that place, because we already had Sterling. I think we had wingers like Sterling, we had wingers like Leroy Sané, Riyad Mahrez was also there, Bernardo Silva was there, Gabriel Jesus also when Aguero was playing place on the wings. So I think Jadon Sancho did not want to fight for the place. There's nothing wrong. Jadon Sancho went, had a great career in, had a great start to his career in the Bundesliga, and now reports are that he'll be coming back to the Premier League with Man United. But looking back at it, I think Jadon Sancho was not willing to fight out the position. That's why Pep had to let him go. But Phil Foden, he had a much harder task than Jadon Sancho. That midfield positions, De Bruyne, you name it, De Bruyne, David Silva, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva can play there. Lot of players. Still, Phil Foden fought for it. He he showed that attitude to learn from them, and that this is his reward. Pep had really groomed him well. Pep had really transitioned him at, I think, at the right time to get into the team, because until now he has been learning with players like De Bruyne, David Silva. He has been sharing the pitch also with De Bruyne, David Silva, and all. The amount of knowledge he would have got is tremendous. Uh, I see that same attitude with Nathan Ake. He's also a willing learner. He looks to improve upon things, because Eddie Howe once said in one of his interview that I think it was 3 seasons ago, Bournemouth won 4-3 against Liverpool. It was that great comeback. It was when Liverpool's defense was uh, was bad than Norwich's defense. That was the time. Liverpool's defense was bad than Arsenal's defense, because I think Arsenal's defense is much more worse than Norwich defense. So at that time, Bournemouth were 3-0 down, I think, and they came and won 4-3 or something like that. And Nathan Ake scored the winner. So Eddie Howe says after the match, Nathan Ake comes to him and asks him for details as to how did we concede those 2 or 3 goals, what went wrong, what were the mistakes that I made, where should I improve. That is the kind of person which Pep loves. That is the kind of person which we want to be at Man City. Someone who always wants to go and someone who always wants to learn, someone who always wants to go beyond the gears, someone who always wants to get to that level of world class and beyond that. Nathan Ake, when I see him, he is someone who I think who's willing to get above that world class level, who realizes that there are levels to be climbed above world class as well. I'm not saying that Nathan Ake is still at world class level now. He will need time to get there, but if he's willing, he has all the right attributes, he has the right personality. That is the most important thing. It's not the talent, it's not the skill to get to world class level, it's the personality, it's the character. If you lose the ball, if you make a mistake, do you have that courage in you? Do you have that sense of attitude in you to ask for the ball, to try it again and again, even though you might be embarrassed? Do you have it in you or not? That is what really makes world class players, and Nathan Ake has it in him. Coming to the weaknesses of Nathan Ake, I think very big weakness is that, I would not say it's a weakness, but then he does not win aerial duels. He's not. He does not win aerial duels effectively. He's not that good in the air. In terms of defenders who have played like 900 minutes or more in the Premier League, he ranks 51st out of 55 defenders in terms of aerial duels won, which means he's almost in the last 1% uh, or last 2% of the defenders in terms of aerial duels won. But then he's 5'11", and his positional sense is like excellent. His positional play is really good, and he manages his lack of height with that positional sense. So he's always there to the ball before the attacking players there, or he anticipates, and he has a great leap. So when you have good positioning, when you can anticipate well, and you have a really good leap, what that means is that even though you're not that good in the air, you can always anticipate second balls, because Pep Guardiola always tells, even if you lose the first ball, it's fine. First ball, it's in the air, it's 50-50. When the ball's in the air, we don't know. But you can really anticipate what's in your hands, is you can anticipate the second ball really well. That's what Fernandinho does really well. He anticipates the second ball, uh, and then he goes for it. And then other thing which I think Nathan Ake has to learn is his long range passing needs to improve. His long range passing is like about around about 50%, I think. But then you could tell that Bournemouth does not have a good target man up front, and all of that. And this season they have been struggling in the attack as well. I think when it comes to City, his long passing will improve. But the only thing I think about Nathan Ake is his aerial duels. Apart from that, he will be a perfect fit for City. He could, like I was telling about David Alaba in the previous video, Nathan Ake could just come there, come tomorrow, and then start for that Real Madrid match as well. Because if you play in different positions, it really gives you that sense of exposure. It really gives you that kind of appreciation for your teammates. You tend to help out your teammates even better. When Pep was playing Phil Foden, I think it was last season, out of position. He was playing him at left back, I remember, at right back also once. And now he played him at the winger, I think in the right wing or left wing position. This season also a couple of times. So people were telling, why is has he gone crazy? Has Pep gone crazy? Is he really the best manager in the world? Why is he playing such a great young talent, one of the best young talents in the country? Why is he playing him at right back, left back, you name it, whatever? Will you make another Zinchenko out of Phil Foden? What does Pep want out of him? But then Pep in an interview told that, afterwards, Pep told in an interview that this is because when a player plays out of position, for example, he plays at right back, afterwards, when he plays at the wing, he appreciates how much difficulties his fullback faces, and then he comes out and helps out his fullback in defense. And it's an essential quality that you realize the difficulties, the intricacies of playing each position, because that increases your sense of appreciation and your sense of bonding with your teammates. It helps you realize how tough it is playing in that position. That is the reason why Gabriel Jesus or Bernardo Silva, for example, you see Bernardo Silva running all the way up from the right wing position or from the midfield, from the attacking third. He runs all the way and helps his centre backs. He puts a lot of tackles in the attacking box. Why he does that? Because Bernardo Silva knows that he has that sense of appreciation. He knows that it's really difficult, and he has to help out his fellow teammates. So what Pep has done among these players is he has really inculcated in them that sense of knowledge of playing various positions, and Ake has it in him. He's versatile, so I think he would be a perfect fit. He could start in a variety of positions. Even in CDM, he could perfectly start at the CDM position as well for Man City. Uh, I hope that you're really enjoying this content, and if there are any further Manchester City news or any transfers or any players which Man City are linked to, what I'll do is will and also if there's any news that City have agreed a deal or some player has signed for City, what we'll do is we'll come out with a video regarding that. Otherwise, I'll come tomorrow in front of you with some other video regarding Man City transfer news and the players Man City are linked to. But then also do remember to write down in the comments below, what do you think about Nathan Ake? Is he really good enough? How much would you rate Nathan Ake out of 5? At least till what you have seen him now. I would give him Nathan Ake 4 for the. I would give him not sorry. I would give him 4.5 actually for the work he has done in Bournemouth. Even though Bournemouth was a team that has conceded a lot of goals, for how impressive he has been, rock solid at that heart of the defense, I would give him 4.5, not a 4. A 4 would be really harsh for such a player who has been under the cosh most of the time. And also do mention in the comments below what sort of players, who else do you want City to sign? Which other centre backs? See, now we have almost got Nathan Ake. Uh, so who is that second centre back we want at City? Would it be Koulibaly or would it be Diego Carlos, or who? Do you have any other name in mind? Or do you think Ruben Diaz is the one we should go for? Just mention out in the comments below. And also do mention out any of the players you want City to go for. And also mention out in the comments below, do you want City to sign a hair for David Silva, or do we go with Phil Foden? For me personally, I would think we should go with Phil Foden. Just imagine that sense of euphoria, that sense of passion as fans we would get when Phil Foden scores in a derby against Man United, or in a match against Liverpool, and then he comes and just celebrates with the crowd. Wow, just thinking of that scenario itself is giving me goosebumps. Is one of our own from our academy and is there. That would be a statement of intent of Man City's academy as well. So that would just be wonderful. So for me, we should not sign a hair for David Silva. Phil Foden has been so much loyal to the club. His attitude in terms of patience with which he is waiting for his chance. It's time that we reward him. It's time that even if he has a couple of bad performances at the start, which is normal for a young player, we back him as a fan base. So if you're really interested, if you're really finding this content interesting, please like this video and also click on the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon so that you'll get notifications whenever I release a new video. And also I'll be coming up with videos every day regarding the transfer news, not only the transfer news exclusively, but things like this. We'll talk about where has it gone wrong for City this season. We'll be doing Premier League previews, and also we'll be doing season reviews. We'll also be ranking players regarding the performances for this season. We'll also be previewing the Champions League match against Real Madrid, which is exactly a week from now. I think it's not exactly a week, it's less than a week from now. So we'll be doing all of that in this channel. So enjoy your weekend, everybody, and take care.